There she is, guys. The Audi RS6, my ultimate dad wagon that I've owned for now coming up to 7 years, and it's got a bit of a problem. So I want to talk about it today. If you've never seen or heard of a Audi RS6, where have you been? Because this thing is a monster. This is the C7.5. It's the performance version of the Audi RS6. It's not the latest edition one, but personally, just my opinion, I prefer this one over the other one. I will admit that the front isn't quite as aggressive as the brand new one, but it definitely is not bad. It looks great. I do want to say though, my car is extremely, and I mean extremely dirty. But let me explain, boys. There is a drought. It's pretty bad, so we can't actually wash our cars. We can't clean our cars. It is terrible. We can't do anything about it. I don't really want to pay somebody to clean the car just so it gets dirty in like the next day. The drought is pretty serious here in the UK, so there's a thing called the hosepipe ban. I can't clean my car. There's no point in cleaning it because it'll just get dirty. The dust is insane at the moment, so it's being pretty badly neglected, just, you know, clean wise, right? I do take great pride in my car. The car actually mechanically is fantastic. There's no issues with it. I take it to service. It's in great condition. No problems there. It's just a little bit dirty, but apart from that, she is great. And I will say, I think this angle right here is the best angle that car has. Right, this right here. Ooh. Am I right? It looks pretty hot. I mean, this looks great. This really does. So you might be wondering, what kind of problem has this car has? Well, it's not mechanical, and it's not really anything, you know, that is genuinely a problem. I think it's maybe me specifically a problem. And I know this car has a crazy cult following, so whatever I'm gonna say about this, everybody's gonna disagree, and we're gonna have a argument in the comment section down below. But hopefully by the end of this video, it kind of makes sense why I'm a little bit unsure what to do with it. Do I want to keep it? Do I want to get rid of it? I'm leaning more to the one or the other one, if that makes sense. And hopefully after this video is up, you guys will see what my very specific problem is to owning an insane car. But it does have some drawbacks. It really does. But before we get into that, I'll give you a little bit of one of these, okay, before we go. It does sound crazy. It sounds so good, but that is the aftermarket exhaust, so it doesn't actually sound like that stock. But with the exhaust, it's so you might be wondering, what is the problem? How can this car have a problem? I mean, yeah, let's take a look at it. It does look absolutely insane. It does look beautiful. I mean, I'm not gonna say this car doesn't look beautiful. Whenever I see these out, I'm like, oh, it's an RS6, look at that. You know, so even if I see these in wild, just driving around the road, I'm still gonna be like, oh damn, it's RS6. And I do like this car. I don't know if I'll say I love it. I like it. And it does make you feel badass driving it, right? Especially with the exhaust on it, it sounds absolutely insane. But it does have a problem that started with having a weekend car. Now, I know how privileged that sounds, so let me kind of explain. I recently, when I say recently, a couple of years ago, bought a weekend car. It was a BMW M2 manual. It was great. I wasn't driving this car much. Then I got rid of the M2 and probably got one of the best cars I've ever had, in my personal opinion, was the Ford Mustang Audi GT500. And let me tell you, I'll make a separate video on that. I know you American boys are kind of like picking this over the Mustang because this is more rare, but I need you to understand how rare that car is. But I'll make a video on that another time. Think about this, right? You'd have this car, but you got a weekend car. You don't commute, which is in my experience, my situation. I don't really commute too much. I'm lucky enough to be able to just go upstairs and record a video, so I don't need to leave. I don't need to go out because I don't have to commute. So I only drive this car realistically in two scenarios. One, it's a dad car, so it's gonna be full with my family. So I'm not enjoying it. It's driving careful, it's driving slow, my kids are in there, I'm taking it nice and easy. And the second one is me feeling guilty, and I'm thinking I should probably take it for a little bit of a drive. It's been weeks. So you can see why I'm in a little bit of an undecided situation about what to do with it. Do I keep it? Do I get rid of it? It's kind of a bit of a too much of a car to just let it, you know, sit there and not be used. Am I right? Somebody can enjoy this car to its full potential. Somebody like I did when I first got it, because this was my one car garage. When you have a one car garage, this is perfect. This does everything good. Everything. Every check mark you can see, it does good, but not great. And there is actually, now that I think about it, some bad ones. For example, fuel economy is terrible. Maintenance, terrible. It's a large car. It also is a car that you worry about where you leave it. It draws attention to itself. So it's not really a car that you can kind of like just get out, go somewhere, don't worry about it. You have to be thoughtful of this car, because if anything goes wrong in this car, it's expensive to replace. So you have to be thoughtful and you have to be meaningful with what you're doing with it, because you can't just like chuck it in anywhere. And the problem is I'm getting to that stage with it. I think it's a combination of a couple of reasons why. One, I've kind of not really loving it anymore. Two, I got a weekend car that I love, so this one's becoming kind of like, you know, just a car. And I think that's a problem. That's the problem with it. That's the problem with it. This car is not really a car I'm going to take out for a crazy blast. You know what I mean? If it's just me, I'm taking the GT500. But I think in this video, let's do take it for a little bit of a drive. Let's do enjoy it. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about, I guess, the really stupid problem I have. And obviously when I first got it, I loved it. I honestly loved it. I want to tell you a story, so I don't come across like I don't appreciate this car. When I first got this car, I remember specifically, I think it was a couple of days of owning this car. I was driving just normally in the road, and I was stopped at red light, and it was just traffic everywhere. And I was listening to a song, I'm pretty sure, I mean, it might sound cliche, I'm sure I was listening to Post Malone, Congratulations. And I was just looking below, and I looked below, and it said RS6 on it, and it made me feel such a sense of pride. I was so emotional. I was so prideful of myself in that moment. I haven't experienced pride like that before. Because I remembered, just like everybody else, guys, I watch these cars on YouTube. I watch these cars on YouTube, people driving these cars. I never thought I'd own this car. Again, guys, I come from genuinely nothing. I never had any money growing up. My parents were extremely poor. I lived in a small country called Latvia. I lived in a Soviet Union community block. It's as kind of like sketchy and rough as you can imagine. So realistically, I never thought I would have this car. I never thought I'd achieve this. I genuinely, I've come from a Soviet Union country called Latvia that was very poor. The area that I lived in was very poor. We didn't have a lot of money. And it's crazy to me to think back to that, to having this car. And in that moment, it kind of like all rushed in, and it made me so emotionally proud that I have this car. It was amazing. If I could share that feeling with everybody else, that was a drug. That was a drug that I haven't experienced before. Over time, as I think any car guy, I think I got a little bit bored of this car. I've had this car for a long time now, guys. Coming up to 7 years. Been looking at other cars for quite some time now. I've been thinking about what to do with it. Do I want to get something else? Do I want to try something new? And I think as a car, guys, I think that's pretty normal, right? Looking at cars, always, you know, an auto trader, like just look at, even if I can't afford the cars, I love looking at stuff for sale. I just love browsing this stuff. It's kind of weird. I guess it's just like girls looking at clothes, right? That's my clothes. I look at Auto Trader and I'm looking at cars. I'm looking at things I never would bought. Just looking at the interiors, looking at the inside of the car, checking stuff all the time, every other day. It's, I don't know if it's a little bit of addiction, but I think a combination of that and plus these couple of reasons let me talk about. So number one, I talked about outside, right? Which is I got the weekend car. Because now that I have two cars, essentially, right? I have this car, which is kind of like my daily, kind of insane to say that, this is my daily. And then I was lucky enough I could get a weekend car. I had an M2 competition manual. I used to always pick that over this. Why? Well, because whenever I went for a drive and it's just myself, I'm a little bit more selective about what car I'm choosing because, well, the time I'm taking a car for a drive is going to be more direct, right? I'm like, okay, I have some time. I want to go take out my car for a drive. So I'm going to be taking out the most engaging car I have, right? The one that I'm going to have the most fun in, the one that I'm going to enjoy driving the most. And it was the weekend car. It was never this. And then I had the Mustang, and this has pretty much kind of just become the dad car. Now, what a crazy dad car this is. What an insane dad car. Here comes number 2. I don't drive. I know this kind of like, what am I saying? I only drive minimum. I'd say I drive minimum. I don't drive that much with the family in this car because my partner has a car as well, and it's electric, so it makes sense for us to use that car for a lot more shorter journeys, right? Because it's not great for a engine to be started up cold, to take a short journey, and then shut down, start up cold, take a short journey, and so on. So it makes sense for us to use the electric car quite often for short journeys, like if I'm going to the store, if I'm going somewhere with the girls that isn't that far. It makes sense for us to take the electric car because we can charge it at home. We can also, you know, not worry about, oh, I gotta wait for the engine to warm up or anything like that. It's just stop, start, go. We're there, get out. And with the kids, that is nice. That is nice because getting into a car, especially when it's hot, needing to wait for it to cool, start working, start the aircon working, because this car doesn't have that feature where you can kind of set the temperatures, and that is nice. I will say that is a really nice feature of the electric cars. I know I think cars have it now, maybe new Audis have it as well, but this doesn't have that, and it would be nice. It would be nice to get into a cold car or, vice versa when it's winter, get into a warm car. It would be nice to have that feature. So that's the second reason. Obviously, I don't really drive that much. Like I said, my commuting, I don't have a commute. I'm fortunate enough I can work from home. I wake up, I play with my daughters, I have fun with them, and then I can go to my office and do some work, right? So again, my driving is more direct. I don't know what the word for it, correct word for it would be, but like when I want to go for a drive, it's like I'm thinking about it. I'm like, okay, I want to go for a drive. It's something like enjoyable. So I'm always going to pick the car that brings me the most enjoyment driving, the one that makes me kind of feel, like good, makes me want to drive it. And that is the weekend car, regardless of what it would be, right? Think about if you had a weekend car, right? You had an Audi RS6 and you had a weekend car, the chances are you'd pick the weekend car on your drives, right? Number 3. Now, this one's not really that big of a reason, but because of the other 2 reasons, it's made me be more considerate, and that's the running costs of this car. When I first got it, the running costs are high on this car. They really are. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. But because it was my one car and it was kind of like my car that does it all, it didn't really bother me to the point of like, I knew I had to pay for stuff, but it wasn't kind of like, oh my God, is it worth paying for it? Because it was my one and only car. It was my weekend car and it was my family car. Now things kind of, I'm like, wow, that's expensive. Is that really worth it? Everything is expensive on this car. I mean, everything, guys. The fuel economy is not great. It's like 12 miles per gallon. For a car that's meant to be your daily, that's not great. But for me, it didn't affect me that much because once again, I didn't do that many miles, guys. I didn't do that many miles, right? So it didn't really bother me. But everything's expensive. Tires, maintenance on this car is ridiculous. And it's coming up to the age now, almost 10 years, where stuff kind of is going to need replacing or go wrong. This could probably be reason 4. I'm consciously thinking about if something goes wrong in this car, it is expensive to replace. Because mind you, even this car might be dropped in value from one original price. This brand new was over like 100,000. So all the parts are that expensive. It's expensive to replace. It's expensive to work on this car. Most of the jobs, if something goes wrong in the engine, is an engine out job. Even things that aren't the engine is an engine out. I had a small crack on my bumper. My bumper has like this like honeycomb emblem. Not emblem, sorry. It has like this honeycomb feature on the front of the bumper. And I don't know if I did the damage or something's hit it, and it kind of like snapped one of the plastic kind of honeycomb connection. And I mentioned to the guys, I was like, yeah, could I get this replaced? Like, I thought it wouldn't be big problem to replace. It's generally just like a plastic trim, guys. I thought it'd be kind of like pop in, pop out. Nope. It's a bumper off, head camera off, and because the camera is a guided laser camera, they'll have to recalibrate it. They'll have to take it off, recalibrate it, put it back on, recalibrate it. Then it was take the bumper off, take the bumper part out. It was something like just a small plastic part turned out to be over 3,000 pounds. I was like, huh? So that was my first experience with the Audi RS6 prices. They are no joke, guys. They are no joke. Tires, 400 pounds, brake discs, and brake pads. My rear base discs and brake pads, I think, were changed when I got this car because they were used up, and I was able to, I got them changed with the garage I bought it, right? Basically, I complained that they sold me a car with like worn brake pads and brake discs, and they replaced it, and it was something like, I want to say, each corner was something like 1,800 pounds. That was like 7 years ago. So I'm sure the prices of that now are double. It's expensive to run this car. It really is. And obviously fuel is expensive as well. You put the good stuff in this car, so 99 octane, right? And that's gonna cost you anywhere between a full tank is gonna be like 130 pounds. And it only does about 360 miles on a full tank, which isn't great. 360 miles on a full tank that costs you 130 pounds. It adds up, especially if you actually would be daily driving this car. I guess the reason why I didn't notice and it didn't bother me too much is because, well, I didn't really daily drive this car that much. So, you know, the fuel prices weren't all that, you know, nasty to me. And number 5, I'm gonna say it, guys. I know I mentioned this before and I kind of got a lot of hate on it, but I think it's because people either just have a cult following on this car or they've never owned this car. And so they have a kind of perceived idea of how this car is. But I am going to say it, guys, as a driver's car, it is poor. It's big, it's heavy, it feels heavy. It doesn't hide its weight well. It feels really heavy. In the corners, sometimes when you're going fast in the corners, you really feel it. Now, I do have this with the air suspension. You could get it with springs, and maybe with that part it would be a little bit better with how it handles itself, but because I have the air suspension option and it really feels heavy, and when you give it some beans you can definitely notice it. It oversteers like crazy. It might be a characteristic of having the all-wheel drive kind of quattro drive on it, so maybe it doesn't do that well. But the brakes aren't great on this. The brakes are huge, so I don't know why that is. I don't know why. Is it because the car's huge? The steering is a little bit, I'm gonna say, not engaging at all. It's not terrible. It isn't as bad, but it's not as good as like the M2 was. The M2 was really, really good. It was super engaging. I really enjoyed it. It was great. With this car, what it does best, if you want to feel like a baller, if you want it to be loud, if you want to kind of just have some fun with it a little bit. When I mean fun with it, kind of like, you know, short bursts of speed, but not like, I wouldn't take this on like a canyon run. I wouldn't take this on a track. I think this would be a pretty terrible experience on a track, because if you're taking a corner with this car, you're not like nicely in this car. Like, it's almost like the seat, you feel like the whole car shaking. It's not a nice experience driving this car fast. Especially in corners and turns and stuff like that, because it isn't built for that. It's like a crazy dad car with insane horsepower, right? So it's not built for like what I was looking for as a weekend car. That's why I take the Mustang, because it's so much more harsher, because it's more focused on the track. It's harder. It grips you in nicer. You don't feel like almost like the body roll when you're in the corners in the Mustang. I know they're kind of like not crazy difference in weight. They're both heavy cars, but the Mustang, they've done a much better job with making it feel light. I don't know, maybe it's because the amount of sheer power that car has. Now, this isn't a slow car though. This has a lot of power as well. So in a drag race, both of the cars actually would probably be quite similar. If not, this maybe could beat the Mustang. If it came to something like a race, a true race, let's say we're gonna, you know, do do on the track racing or something like that, this doesn't have a chance. It doesn't have a chance. I'm sorry, guys. I know there's a cult following for this car, and I understand why. I do understand why there's a cult following for this car. It is sick. My specific problem is a very niche problem. When I go for a drive, I want to drive the most engaging car I have. And to me, the most engaging car I had was the one that I bought as a weekend car. So this really just went down in my use. I don't really use it when I drive by myself. So when I drive by myself, obviously I'm gonna take the Mustang. When I go with the family, obviously we're gonna take this car. But the crucial word there is with the family. So when you got a car full of girls, you're not going to be going Mach 10 and you're not going to be driving fast. You're going to be taking it nice and easy. And is there really any necessary need for having an Audi RS6 to take it easy? I feel like it's a bit of a waste. I don't know if it's maybe because I'm becoming older myself, but sometimes it does get a bit annoying to be consciously thinking about this car. What I mean by that is, like, if I drive somewhere, I have to be conscious about where I leave the car. I have to be conscious about where I park the car. Maybe I don't have to, but I'm a car guy and I love my cars and I love what I have and I care about what I have and I respect what I have. So I am going to think about, did I park in a nice spot? I don't want to go down a dodgy way. I don't want to park in a horrible car park space, because everything is expensive on this car to replace. So I am going to be cautious of that. And, you know, for example, when I turn on the car, I sit there, I wait for it to warm up, I make sure that it's good to drive. So it's a thing that I always consider. It's a thing that I always am cautious about. It's a thing that I think about. I love my cars. I love everything about them. But I think maybe I'm at a different stage of what I'm looking for daily now. I'm not saying I want like a shitty car, but I think I want a car that is maybe a little bit more, a little bit more like I can just get into it and go. Whatever, get into it and go. Not worry too much about it. You know, obviously I'll care about it, but not be like, not really care about it. Does that make sense? You know, something a little bit more just I can get in and throw. I can get in, the kids go in there and we're going instantly. You know what I mean? Something a little bit more like that. Like a true daily. Because remember, this was not my first daily. This was like my everything car. And I don't think I need it to be my everything car anymore. I think maybe the time is up for it to be my everything car. Maybe it's time for this car to be somebody else's everything car. Because truly, this car is a riot. I'm not saying this car isn't fun, right? Because this car is a good time still. And you can be leery with this, right? But on like a straight road with some wide twisty road, one of the best things I did to this car was get the exhaust. Now, this isn't how it sounds stock. This is a full aftermarket exhaust, catback, everything. Sports catbacks and everything. So it's a pretty much as straight pipe as legally it can be. This thing is very, 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 very good sounding. But it sounds good only because of the aftermarket exhaust. It sounds okay from factory, but with the exhaust, it truly sounds wicked. It sounds wicked. And that helped bring out some character from this car, because honestly, this car doesn't really have that much character. It really doesn't have that much kind of like quirks and features. It's never really going to try to kill you. You could drive this, my grandma could drive this car. It doesn't really have anything about it. But with the exhaust, it does. It has some noise and it's kind of like brought out a little bit more character about it. It sounds a more grunty. It sounds more like a muscle car-esque. And apart from looking mean, now it sounds mean. So it's got a little bit more about it. Oh my God, this guy just stopped, almost had a crash. There is a weird thing this car does, and I haven't experienced it in any other car. It does, I think it's called torque steer. This thing has so much torque. When you kind of plant it, it almost like drifts into the ditch. I don't know how to explain it. Not in a way where it's like losing control, but I think that's a feature of the Quattro maybe, and having so much torque. It just kind of like the whole car is almost, it feels like it's crab walking to a side of the... It does sound good though. It does sound good. I do love the sound of it. I can't say anything bad about how it sounds. But remember, this is an aftermarket exhaust, so that's why it sounds so good. It's a twin turbo, 600, and I want to say like 18 horsepower, because I have the exhaust, which probably made it gave it a little bit more power. It sounds good. It's a V8. There's this thing this car does. Once it gets to redline, it almost sounds like a chainsaw. I'm not really sure how I can show you this. Let me see. Maybe if we open up that a little bit. Right, let's give it some beans. Let's see if we can do it. Oh, there we go. It does sound mean. Now, if you're in the market for a car that's like, you know, you just want one car or you're going to have one car, I think this makes perfect sense. I think the only maybe better car than this is the M3 wagon. The brand new M3 wagon, the G81 or whatever it's called, the G80 wagon. That's the only other car that I think competes with this and is a better driver's experience. But this as a whole package experience, like how it makes you feel, how it sounds, how the road presence of this car, it is unbeaten. So as far as a dad car ranking level, I mean, this is unbeaten, right? This, for me personally, probably a top tier dad car. But it is not a top tier weekend blaster. Those pops and bangs though, those are some proper pops and bangs, not those like disgusting ones that the people map in. By the way, this car hasn't been mapped. Those pops and bangs are from factory. They are louder since the exhaust. They're definitely more louder and more prominent since I got the exhaust, but those aren't fake ones. Those aren't like the ones that I got mapped in to sound crazy. Those are how it came from factory. I want to try different cars. I want to have different cars, but what I think I need is like a true daily car. I don't have like a true daily car. I need something maybe average, maybe a little bit more boring, maybe a little bit more kind of like, you know, just a car. I think I need a car. That's what I need as a daily car. Something that I can get into. I don't have to worry about turning on, warming it up, this and that. I don't have to worry about how expensive it is to repair it. I don't have to worry about how expensive it is. Oh yeah. I don't have to worry about how expensive the maintenance is. Maybe something under warranty, so if anything goes wrong, it's fine. Something comfortable and big enough for all the family and the girls to get in. Something safe. You know, just, I guess like a different car for a different stage in my life now, right? Because remember, I have the crazy weekend car. That's my fun car that I'm going to drive whenever I want to go for a true fun blast in my cars. But I need something to get me to A to B in somewhat like maybe a little bit of like a mundane, in a boring way. Maybe that kind of sounds stupid now that I'm saying it out loud, but I'm sure some of you guys will understand where I'm coming from and what I mean by that. And the really exciting thing is there is so many cars I could possibly choose. There's a lot of cars I can choose, and I may or may not have already made the decision. I guess keep an eye open for that. I'm sure a lot of you guys will be really disappointed in it, but there's a reason for why I went with that car, and there's a reason for, you know, picking that one. If I'm getting rid of this one, that means I could get something else, right? I could get something else as well. Something I'm craving, something a little bit more manual, with a manual gearbox, something more engaging. Yeah, that's what I'm craving a little bit. But do let me know what you do in my situation. Now, I know what you guys are gonna say. Don't get rid of this car, keep it. But I've had this for 7 years, guys. Maybe it's just time for something different. Or maybe I'm gonna keep it, I don't know. I guess we'll have to find out and wait and see. I mean, it is a serious weapon. This car is a blast. The speed this car can do is kind of like, you know what I mean? It's like, wow, fucking hell. I'm trying to get that like really chainsaw sound. There's this like, I'm not sure what exact RPMs I need to shift for it to happen, but it does this mean chainsaw. It's like, boom. It sounds sick, and I'm chasing it. Oh my gosh. The overrun. Let's see if we can get it this time. There you go. Did you hear that? Boom. It's like, bro, it's like a chainsaw machine gun. It is badass. It is cool. It's a cool car. I never said it isn't cool. I never said it isn't cool, but after 7 years, it is just getting a little bit boring. Don't shoot me. Don't shoot me. After 7 years, I'm sure most of you would be thinking the same thing. This isn't like anything special. It's not like a special edition. It's not like... Okay, let me rephrase that. When I say this isn't like anything special, I mean like as in, this isn't like a rare car. This isn't like a emotional roller coaster or a event when I'm driving this car, right? It's kind of, it's a mass-produced vehicle that anybody could drive, anybody could use, right? There's nothing like spicy about this car. So after 7 years, you kind of maybe would look somewhere else, you know, just to experience something else. And I think maybe it's time for that. The thing about having a black car is as soon as you don't keep it maintained clean and it gets dirty quick, it looks rubbish. The car interior wise is actually not that bad. It does feel a little bit outdated in some areas. What really helps this car's interior situation is two things: Apple CarPlay and the fact that it's got a heads-up display. With those two things, Apple CarPlay and the heads-up display, I mean, it doesn't really matter kind of everything else. I need to get off this motorway because this is a little bit boring here. But this is kind of what this car's for. It's a motorway mile eater. It will eat all the miles. It really will, all of them. And then it'll ask for more. Fucking, you know what I mean? It will eat all of the miles. No problem. Apart from, you just gotta pay the quite expensive fuel prices. This car will just go and go. I do maintain this car really well. I do wanna just kind of say that I maintain my car extremely well. I service it every year. I don't abuse this car. I take great care in the thing that actually matters, which is like the mechanical stuff. Now, visually and cleaning it, I definitely don't. So, you know, I could do better. Yeah. Oh, fuck. Okay, this might be a bit of a mistake, but let's open up all the windows. Oh, she sounds. You might hear a lot of wind noise here, boys, but... Ooh, I forgot how good this thing sounds. Oh, what the fuck? That was the one. Oh my god, that was the one. Now you heard it. That was the one. Oh fuck! Oh, what a riot, dude. Oh, what a riot. Okay. Now I understand why. I get it. I truly get it, guys. It's just I don't do this enough. And maybe I'm an idiot. Or maybe I'm spoiled. I don't know what is. Maybe I just need to have a really hard look in the mirror and think, what the fuck am I thinking getting rid of this? Because listen to this. Maybe I'm just a moron. Oh my god. It's windy as fuck. Do let me know what you think. I know it's a bit of a fucking stupid situation, and maybe I'm making the biggest mistake, and maybe after this video I'm gonna reconsider. But I think I'm probably gonna make a couple of more videos on this car, I have two ideas I want to do for this car. One will be like the kind of like 7 years ownership kind of review I want to do. So keep an eye out for that. And I'll guess I'll see you in the next one, which I'm not really sure when, but yeah, I'll see you in the next one, guys. As always, subscribe and like and all that stuff. I appreciate you. What the fuck? That's the size of a pothole. That's an airstrike. That's an airstrike, that one was. I'll see you guys in the next one.